The biggest thing with site preparation is just having the existing vegetation under control. So in a corn or soybean field, that's largely been controlled either with tillage or with herbicide or some combination of both. So the weed bank should be relatively under control. If you're going to convert a pasture, that's going to be much harder, something that has existing perennial vegetation. You're going to want to make sure, however you can go about it, whether that's chemical control or whether that's repeated application of tillage, you're going to want to make sure that the vegetation is under control. Because without, by putting these prairie seeds, some of them are small, we're talking 600,000 seeds per ounce, just, smaller than a grain of pepper. By putting them into an area where there's already something growing that is using the nutrients, using the sunlight, absorbing that water, it's not going to have a chance, and you're not going to get your money's worth. So just controlling the existing vegetation is going to be the most important thing you can do. Seed bed, so you want kind of the opposite of what you'd think about with a garden. With a garden you want it to be really fluffy and loamy. Here you want a really firm seed bed. You can seed prairie any time of the year. You really can. I wouldn't seed prairie onto snow that's deeper than about 4 inches, and I wouldn't seed prairie in the driest part of August for here in Iowa. But that said, you can kind of seed it any time of the year. There are benefits to both. Personally, I like to seed in the fall or in the dormant period, because if you're seeding any kind of forbs or wildflowers, these are temperate wildflowers that need a period of cold, moist stratification. So essentially you need to simulate winter. And if you put them out there in the spring, they're going to have to sit for a whole year. Some of them will germinate without having that stratification, but the wide majority of them, they're going to need to basically go through a cold, moist period in order to germinate. So if you go out in the fall, broadcast seeding is going to be the way to go. It's easy. You can move pretty quickly, just physically throwing that seed on top of the ground. The freeze-thaw cycle of the winter is just going to put that soil or seed perfectly in the level of the soil where you want. It's going to be nice and firm. Keeping the soil firm is going to, kind of keep things from drying out. There's going to be moisture on the top. So that's going to be really important. If you seed kind of any other time of the year, using a seed drill is going to be a really, really good thing. And not getting the seed too deep, but about 1/4 of an inch is how deep you want it to be. And even if it is kind of a fluffy seed bed, going back over with a cultipacker or something to kind of tamp that seed bed down, just so you don't have a drying out of that top layer and then those seeds kind of dying before they get a chance to germinate.